chosen one, stop what you are doing and listen to me right now. Not tomorrow. Not after you finish what you are scrolling through. Right now, because what I am about to say in the next few seconds is the exact thing you have been waiting for someone to finally say out loud. You have been changing, and no one around you has the words for what they are seeing. You can feel it. There is something happening inside you that is bigger than any season you have walked through before. It is not loud. It is not dramatic. It is quiet and deep, and it is moving like a current beneath everything. Like something ancient in you has finally woken up and decided it is done being silent. And the people around you can feel it too. That is what is confusing you. That is what has you searching for answers at this hour. People who never looked twice in your direction are suddenly paying attention. Someone who used to speak over you is now listening when you talk. A conversation happened this week where you said almost nothing, and yet somehow you held the entire room, and you walked away thinking, what was that? What is happening to me? Here is the truth you have been hungry for. God is not just changing what you do. He is rebuilding who you are. And what is radiating out of you right now, the gravity, the quiet authority, the something that no one can name but everyone is responding to. That is not performance. That is not charisma you manufactured. That is the glory of God making its way to the surface of a life that said yes to the fire. You did not find this video by accident. I want you to hear that and let it settle into your bones. The algorithm did not bring you here today. This is a divine setup. This moment was written into your path before you ever pressed play. You are standing at a threshold right now, and what you receive in the next few minutes has the power to shift the trajectory of everything that comes after. Stay until the very end, because I am going to show you what is actually happening in the unseen realm of your life. I am going to give you the name for the shift you cannot explain. And at the end, I am going to speak a declaration over you that will lock in this season and seal the work that God has already begun. Do not leave. Your future self is depending on your decision to stay. Before we go any deeper, if you have ever sat in a season where you felt invisible, overlooked, and deeply misunderstood by the people closest to you, and yet something inside you refused to give up, I need you to hit that like button right now. That click is your agreement. That is you telling the algorithm and telling heaven, I am here, I am listening, I am ready. And if you are brand new here, welcome. You did not stumble onto this channel. You were led here. Hit subscribe so you never miss another message written specifically for someone like you. Drop a comment below right now and tell me, what is the one word that describes the season you are in today? One word. I read every single one. Now, let us go deeper. There is something profoundly specific happening in the life of a chosen one when God begins the final stages of preparation. And it does not look the way most people expect a spiritual upgrade to look. It does not feel like confidence suddenly flooding in. It does not feel like clarity arriving like a sunrise. It does not feel like winning. It feels like loss. It feels like the version of you that people used to know is quietly dissolving. And you are standing in the space where that old self used to be. Not quite sure who is going to emerge from the other side of this. The friends who used to feel like home now feel strangely distant. Not because of a fight, not because of a falling out, but because the conversation that used to satisfy you no longer reaches the depth where you are living now. The things that used to excite you feel hollow. The noise that used to drown out your thoughts is no longer loud enough. And in the quiet that is left behind, you are hearing something low and constant and unmistakably real. A voice that is not your anxiety, A voice that is not your ego. A voice that sounds like purpose finally refusing to wait. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you chose to say nothing instead of defending yourself? When did you last sit in a room full of people and feel simultaneously present and completely apart from the chaos around you? When did you last feel that strange combination of absolute peace and absolute readiness at the same time? Because that combination is not a contradiction. That is not confusion. That is the signature of a person on the edge of their next dimension. The enemy has been working hard to make you interpret every single one of those signs as failure. He wants you to believe the distance you feel from your old life is loneliness. He wants you to believe the quiet in your spirit is emptiness. He wants you to call the boundary you set last week pride. He wants you to call the peace you chose over the argument weakness. He is not attacking you with failure right now. He is attacking you with misinterpretation, and that is because he cannot stop what God is building inside you. So the only tool he has left is to get you to misread the construction as destruction. Listen to what Proverbs 4:18 says. The path of the righteous is like the morning sun, shining ever brighter until the full light of day. Not dimmer, not more careful, not smaller, brighter, ever brighter. This verse does not describe a person who is shrinking to make everyone comfortable. This describes a person who is becoming so undeniably luminous that even the people who once refused to see them can no longer look away. That is you. That is what this season is building. You are not losing your place. You are ascending to one. There is a sacred and deeply uncomfortable space that every person God is preparing must pass through. The theologians call it liminality. The mystics call it the dark night of the soul. But I want to call it what it actually is, the holy in-between. It is the space after the old version of you has died, but before the new version has been fully revealed. And it is without question the most disorienting place a human being can stand. You are no longer who you were, but the world has not yet caught up to who you are becoming. And so you exist in this strange gap between two identities, one already gone and one not yet fully visible, wondering if the gap itself is a sign that something went wrong. It did not go wrong. The gap is the point. Think about the story of Joseph. Not the part everyone rushes to at the end, where he stands before Pharaoh and interprets the dream that changes the course of a nation. Go back earlier. Go back to the pit. Go back to the moment his own brothers, the people who were supposed to see and affirm and protect him, stripped the coat from his back and threw him into a hole in the ground, then sold him, then lied about it. Joseph did not go from the coat of many colors straight to the palace. He went from the pit to Potiphar's house. From Potiphar's house to prison, he spent years in a place that looked nothing like the dream God had given him. Years of preparation that looked, from the outside, like punishment. But here is what the text reveals that most people rush past. In the prison, in the pit, in the place no one saw him, the Lord was with Joseph and gave him success in whatever he did. Not after the palace, not after the promotion. In the prison, in the place that felt like abandonment. God was working at maximum capacity in the season that looked like nothing was happening at all. And that is where you are right now. You are in the Joseph season. The season between the dream and its fulfillment. The season that looks, from the outside, like delay, like disappointment, like you took a wrong turn somewhere. But from heaven's vantage point, this season is not a detour from your destiny. This season is the training ground for the weight of what is coming. Because what God is preparing to place in your hands requires a version of you that the pit and the prison are still forming. The coat was beautiful. But it was not enough for what the palace would demand. You had to become someone who could hold a nation's survival without crumbling under the pressure of it. That is what the in-between is doing. It is not punishing you. It is expanding your capacity to carry glory. Let me say something else that most people are afraid to say out loud. The people who walked away from you in this season, the ones who distanced themselves, the ones who suddenly got quiet, the ones who used to cheer for you and now seem strangely uncomfortable when you succeed. They are not your enemies. They are simply not anointed for this chapter, and that is not a judgment on them. It is a grace on you. God is not removing people from your life because they are bad people. He is removing them because what is coming for you needs a different kind of witness. The company that carried you through chapter 3 cannot carry you into chapter 7. And God loves you too much to let you drag the wrong company into a season they were never designed to navigate. The releasing is not rejection. The releasing is repositioning. If what I just said landed somewhere deep inside you, if something just shifted and you cannot fully explain it yet, pause for 1 second and drop the word Joseph in the comments right now. Let me know you are in the in-between. Let me know you are holding on. I will be reading every single comment and responding today. And if you know someone who is walking through a season of isolation, misunderstanding, or feeling like their calling is taking too long, share this video with them right now. That act of sharing might be the most timely thing you do today. Do not hold back something that could change someone's direction. Now stay with me, because what comes next is the part most spiritual teachers are afraid to touch. Here is the thing that has been silently blocking more chosen ones than any external attack ever could. It is not the enemy's assignment. It is not the wrong people. It is not bad timing. It is an identity that was built for a season that is already over. You've been walking around in a self-concept that was constructed in your lowest moment. You took the version of yourself that was shaped by what was done to you, by the things that were said over you, by the limitations that were placed on you, and you turned it into the blueprint you build from every single day. And because it became so familiar, you started calling it humility. You started calling it being grounded. You dressed the wound up in spiritual language and told yourself, this is just who I am. But chosen one, there is an irreversible difference between a testimony and an identity. A testimony says, I went through this, and by the grace of God I came out different. It looks backward only to show the faithfulness of the one who carried you forward. An identity says, I am the person this happened to. This wound defines the edges of what is possible for me. One positions you powerfully for your future. The other anchors you permanently to a past that was never meant to be your permanent address. You can be faithful. You can be prayerful. You can be in the Word every morning and on your knees every night, and still be living from a wound-based identity without even realizing the ceiling it has placed over your life. Because the wound identity is sophisticated in its deception. It hides behind false humility. It tells you that staying small keeps you grateful. It disguises itself as groundedness, when in truth, it is a spiritual cage with the door wide open that you have simply never decided to walk out of. Think about the moment in John 5 when Jesus approached the man at the pool of Bethesda. This man had been lying at the edge of healing for 38 years. Not 38 days, not 38 weeks. 38 years. And when Jesus found him, he did not simply touch him and release the miracle. He asked him a question that should have been unnecessary. He looked at this man who had been beside the pool for nearly 4 decades and said, "Do you want to be made well?" That question sounds almost offensive on the surface. Of course, he wants to be healed. He has been lying here for 38 years, But Jesus was not asking about the physical healing. He was asking something far deeper. He was asking, have you become so accustomed to this version of your life, so identified with your limitation, so organized around your lack, that healing itself would require you to become someone entirely unfamiliar to yourself? Do you want to be made well? Because being made well means you can no longer use your condition as an explanation for why you are not yet walking in what God called you to. Being made well means you have to pick up your mat and go. It means you can no longer wait at the edge of your destiny for someone else to put you in the water. It means the permission you have been looking for from the outside world was never the actual requirement. The actual requirement was your willingness to rise. And Jesus said to him, rise, take up your mat and walk. Not when you feel ready, not when the circumstances align perfectly, not when your past is completely resolved and your wounds are fully healed. Rise. Now, as you are in this body, in this season, with this history, with this level of healing, incomplete as it may still feel, rise. Because God does not call the finished. He finishes the called. I want to bring you back to where we began, because you need to understand what is actually happening in the room when you walk into it. You need to understand why people are responding to you differently, why the air shifts when you enter, why conversations change when you speak, why people who once minimized you are now watching you more carefully. It is not about how you look. It is not about anything you have achieved or accumulated. It is something that cannot be performed, cannot be manufactured, and cannot be faked. It is the residue of a person who has chosen God's process over their own comfort. It is the frequency of a spirit that has been tested and did not break. It is the quiet authority of someone who knows, at a level beneath words, that they are held by something the world has no category for. That is what people are responding to. They cannot name it, but they feel it. And it is drawing them to you in ways that have nothing to do with your personality or your presentation. The magnetism you are walking in right now is not something you built. It is something that was forged in you through every moment you chose peace over reaction. Every season you endured without performing for applause. Every night you sat in the silence and trusted the one who called you even when he felt unreachable. You did not know it then. But every single one of those moments was God signing his name across the interior of your life. And now that signature is becoming visible. Now the outside world is beginning to read what was written inside you in the dark. Isaiah 60:1 says, arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. That is present tense. Not will come, not might come. Has come. The light is not waiting on your circumstances to improve. The light is not waiting on everyone in your life to understand you. The light has already arrived. The glory is already rising. The only question is whether you are willing to arise with it. And here is what I know about you, chosen one. You are not someone who walked away when it got hard. You are someone who stayed at the altar when everyone else left. You are someone who chose the narrow road when the wide one was right there and looked so much easier. You are someone who said yes to God in a season where yes cost you something real, and that kind of yes does not return void. That kind of yes carries weight in the spirit. That kind of yes has been accumulating interest in the invisible realm. And the return on that investment is now breaking into the visible world around you. What you are feeling is not arrogance. What you are becoming is not pride. What is happening to you is not something to shrink from or apologize for. What is happening to you is the fulfillment of the word that was spoken over your life before you ever took your first breath. You are not too much. You are not too late. You are not behind. You are right on time for a season that heaven has been preparing for longer than you have been alive. I want you to do something with me right now. Place your hand over your chest. Feel your heartbeat. That heartbeat is not an accident. That rhythm is God maintaining His investment. That pulse is the evidence that your assignment is not finished. And I want you to say these words out loud with me. Let every syllable land in the place it was designed to reach. I release the version of me that needed the approval of people to feel worthy of my calling. I release the narrative that my wounds disqualify me from the fullness of what God has promised. I release the habit of shrinking to make others comfortable with the size of what God is doing in me. I receive the identity that was written over my life before the foundation of the world. I receive the authority of this season. I receive the grace to carry it. I am not behind. I am not broken. I am not too much or too little or too late. I am being made, and I am fully willing to be made. I step forward, not because I have arrived, but because I trust the one who called me. My next chapter does not require my perfection. It requires my presence, and I am here. I am fully here, and I am not shrinking again. If something just moved inside you when you said those words, do not dismiss that. Do not rationalize it as emotion. That resonance is spiritual recognition. That is the part of you that already knows who you are agreeing with the part of you that is still learning to believe it. That is your spirit saying amen to a declaration that heaven already wrote over your name. You came to this video today because something in you was looking for confirmation of what you already felt. And here is what I want you to carry with you when you leave. The shifting you feel is not the ground falling out from under you. It is the ground being elevated beneath your feet. The people stepping back from you are not proof that you are becoming difficult. They are proof that you are becoming undeniable. The silence that used to terrify you is now your sacred space. The isolation that felt like abandonment was preparation in disguise. And the version of you that is emerging from this season is not someone the world has ever seen before, because there has never been a moment quite like this one. And there has never been a you quite like the one standing on the other side of everything you walked through to get here. God is not done with you. He has barely begun. And what He is building inside you right now is not for you alone. It is for every person you are going to encounter in the seasons ahead who needs to see that it is possible to walk through fire and emerge more whole than when you went in. Your story is not finished. Your breakthrough is not cancelled. Your destiny has not been reassigned to someone else. It is yours. It has always been yours, and it is closer now than it has ever been. If this message spoke to something real in you today, hit that like button and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Your obedience to that small act might be the most important thing that happens in someone else's life today. Subscribe so you never miss a message designed specifically for the chosen one who is still standing, still pressing, still trusting, and I will see you in the next one, because your story is still being written, and the best chapters have not arrived yet.